So I want to explain the darts, the waist darts. So these are spelled. Okay, so the calculation I'm going to be using the bust span. This is so for this person now, the bust span is 6 inches. So it's going to be on fold. So it's going to be 6 inches divided by 2. That will be 3. You see that? Then I'll add 0.5. That will be 3.5. So I'm going to be showing that now. So let me just show you something now. So this is my front pattern. So I have 3 inches here. See that? And this is my 3.5. So I'm going to be marking it here on this 3.5 line. Okay, so the length of the dart I want to use 4 inches. I want to use 4 inches for the length of the dart. Okay, so let me show you this. So since I took 0.5 from this side, I'm going to be taking 0.5 from this side also. So remember, let me use my tape rule. I think that may be clearer. So I have 3.5 on this side. Remember, I use 6 inches divided by 2. I have 3 plus 0.5. So therefore, I want to take 0.5 on this side and on this side. You see it? So I will now do a kind of inverted triangle. I will draw this line like this. I'll draw this line also. Make sure you have a sharp edge like this. Did you see? Okay, so this is how we are going to be sewing it. So I decided to show it on paper first of all, so that it will be clear. So the sewing is going to be like this. I'm putting the folded edge on this line, this 3.5 inch line. Do you see? Okay, so I'm putting the folded edge on the 3.5 inch line. Did you see that? So that means I'm going to be sewing here. I want to show it. So here I'm sewing on this point. Okay, I apologize, my camera was acting funny. So I'm going to be sewing it here. Do you see it? So I'll sew it and show you now before I transfer it to fabric. Okay, so did you see my stitch? So this is the negative side. The positive side is going to be shown like this. So this thing we are doing now, the same way, this is my middle part. I didn't mention that. You're going to have to notch this part. Okay, so I'm going to have to notch. This is what notch means. We are cutting the mid part a little, just a little, so that you can be able to see the mark you left. So since I notched this part, the same thing I did here, I will also do the same thing in this other side. 3.5 line here, leaving 0.5 on the two sides. 4 inches here, rolling it like this. See? And I'll do my inverted triangle. See that? And then, and remember that this thing is happening on the negative part of the skirt. And I'll do it like this. See? And then I sew on this side. Okay, so now back to my fabric. This is the fabric now. We're going to be making the skirt. And there's the waist area. This is the waist side. The other part is the end, the down part of the skirt. So the same thing I did on the paper, I'm going to be doing here. Right? So I don't know which of the markers I'm going to use. Maybe I'll use this or this. I want something that will show. Okay, remember we deepen the waistline. So I'm just going to mark it also here and so I'll remember to notch the mid part so that I can see it. 3.5. Let's see which marker will show more. Okay, this brown one will show. Then 4 inches. 4 inches with my ruler. Okay, so make sure that your dart is sharp like this. So I've done it for the front part, and this is how the positive side is going to look like. You see it? Make sure that the mouth part is sharp and you iron. So this is for my front. So let's see the way the curve part is shown. Okay, so now this is the back. This is the back part, right? I remember I took 2-inch allowance for the zipper. See, 2 inches. So I just marked it down. I'll mark it down so I go and stitch it on my machine. This is the waist area. Then I also fix that using this line as my middle. That means from here now I'm measuring my 3 inches, 3.5, and I'll fix my dart. So that means, you remember I didn't measure, but you are seeing it. The dart in the front is 2, at the back also is 2. So I'm doing it here, I'm doing it here. Don't forget, this joining for your zip line is going to be your midpoint. No need of notching this one. So I'll do that and show you now. Okay, so you see, I've joined the back part, and then I've ironed it. And you see the dart. Okay, so I wanted to show you something here. You remember that we used the 6-inch for our bust span. So by the time you are done sewing your dart, it should take you back to your raw figure. So for this one now, you can see it is 6. Where is this camera? See it? 6 exactly. See that? 6 exactly. So what is the next thing I'm going to do? I want to iron it so that I can see the difference when I iron it. Okay, so you see that after iron to rest well. Okay, so what is the next thing we are going to do now? As usual, I always like to do my explanations on paper before I come directly to the fabric. Okay, so this is what I want to show you now. Okay, so you know that after joining your skirts, you have this, right? I'll still show it on this one, but let me still show it here. This is the back. The front and back is already placed together here. So with the person's measurement, I have my waist is 26. Look at the calculation here. So that means I'm going to need to divide this 26. Okay, let me just make it easier. Look at it. So this is the figure we're going to be using. Okay, so this is the figure we're going to be using. This one, 26 divided by 4, 6.5. Then 29 divided by 4, 7.25. Okay, so that means on this point, we are going to be measuring 6.25. There will be seam allowance. 6.25. We'll measure it here. You mark it. Then your waist to hip line, you mark it here. Then that means on that point, you measure your hip line, hip 7.25. So you mark it. And you bring it down. See that? You mark it, you bring it down. So the same thing you did here, you're going to be doing it here. So let me show you on fabric. Okay, so you can see afterwards, this is what we have for the front. This is the back. Okay, sorry, I'm supposed to call, this one is supposed to be 6.5. Correction, please. 6.5. Okay, so now on my main dress now, I've effected it. 6.5 from the middle area. See that? Are you seeing it? Then on this other part too, do you see my 6.5? So my hip also. So are you seeing my marking? So my marking will just go this way. So I measured whatever I got divided by 4, so that's to be equal. So by the time I measure it like this, it will give me what 26 divided by 2, that is 13. Are you seeing my 13 there? Okay, so I'm going to join it now. So we're going to have to stitch it here down to the end of the fabric. So let me do that and show you. Okay, so here you have it. Look at my stitch. You see that? So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll turn it to the right side and show you. I have my waistband. I already cut it. So this is my stay. One part is the part that has the gum you place on your band. I'm going to be explaining how we cut the band, but first let me iron it down. See that, so that it can stick to the fabric. Okay, so for my waistband, this is the calculation I did. Since the waist is 26, let's say this is how my waistband is. Okay, so let's say this is how my waistband is. I cut it like this. It's not folded as it is, so I just decided to add 3 inches. It's not going to go up to 3, but I wanted to just add it just to be on the safer side. 3 inches, and depending on how wide you want your band to be. So mine it's 1.5 inches. So that means before I fold it, I have 3.25. 3.25. Okay, so that means this is how we're going to attach it. First of all, we fold it on this edge. Okay, I wanted to emphasize on something. Some people usually ask me, okay, so since we are going to be adding band like this, shouldn't we cut off our waist? So if you are going to be wearing it like your normal skirt, you may need to cut out that 1.5 inch for the band. But this particular person I'm making it for is going to be almost like high waist. She's going to be wearing it above her navel, so it's not going to be affecting this measurement. So if you are going to be wearing yours like below your navel, you can take it off before you fix your dart. So let me explain what I'm trying to say. Okay, so if this is your skirt now, and you need to you want to wear your band like this is going to be your below your navel. This is your navel, right? So before you start doing your darts, you will have taken off the 1.5, depending on the measurement for the band you want. Then you take it off, and all your other figures remain here, your waist, your hip, and all that. So that by the time you attach your band, it take you back to the normal length for your skirt. So I'm not doing this one. This skirt for a young person, so I know that she's going to wear it above her navel. So the next thing we're going to do now. So for me, for this type of band, I'm going to have to fix my zipper. So let me emphasize something. The video for how to attach zip is going to be, I will upload it for us to watch, because I don't want to make this video too long. Okay, so this is my zipper. Look at it. I want to show you the measurement for the zip. So you see it is to where this stopper end is 8 inches. So I'm going to loosen this one up to 7 inches. I'm going to loosen it up to 7 inches here. So I'll just still show you. See that? So you just put your zip here. This is the other side. See it? It's a zipper foot. I just want to show you how it's going to look like. I'll fix it and show you now. Okay. So here's my zip. That I fixed. See that? Neatly done. So now I want to attach this band. So what do I want to do now? I'm going to stitch it on this edge, 0.5 inch different. Okay, so I have it here. I'm going to stitch. So I've just done it this way. I'm showing us the simplest way to fix your band. There are many ways you can fix your waistband, but this is just the simplest I want you to at least see it first of all, that you can make your own pencil skirt without any issue. So you can cut off this one, you can cut off this part, and I'll start stitching from here. I'm supposed to take it round, round like this, round like this. You see that? So by the time I get to this place, I'm going to also close this part the way I did for the other side. After closing that part, I'll show you what I'll do again. I will also hem it down to where the overlap will be. Okay, so this is my band. Don't mind this white part, it's just part of the jean. I can still take it off if I want. So this is the part I wanted to show you for the ending. The overlap is quite much, so okay, I think after I end it, it's not going to be too much again. Let me just trim it off a bit. Can you see what I'm trying to show you? So after hemming it here like this, I'm going to continue sewing it so that it will stop where this zip is. Are you seeing it? Okay, so I make sure I overlocked my open edges. See all these parts, this down part also, taking off the excess seam, the excess stitch, so thread. So the next thing I want to do, I want to fix my hook and eye. See that? So this one is going to be here, the other one is going to be here. See that? With needle and thread. So it's simple. Just make sure you measure it according to the way you want it. So I'll just take it like this. I don't want it to show on the other side. I'll just take it like this. I'll have done the knot on the other side. Now do it again. Okay, so I want to put my hemming gum and I'll iron it. So I'll start putting it here. But this is its initial. So I want to put it for this, my opener, my covered slit. I'm going to iron it and it's going to stick. Let me iron it now and show you. Okay. See, that's that. So the next thing now is this part. Also, I'm going to put the gum around it also. For yours, if you don't have this for now, you can just hem it round. Just stitch it down here and close it. So I'll do that and show you now. Okay, so I didn't mention something like that. So for this slit now, averagely I'll say you should use this was a young child, so I'll be using 6 inches. I'll take out my stitch a bit from here. Okay, so for ease in working, see that. So for you may need to open it up to 8 inches. So the next thing I want to do is I'll just do a kind of closing here. I see it, so that to just make it firm. Okay, so this is it. Try your skirt and show.